It's been a decade since the first version of this set was released when Star Wars The Clone Wars began in 2008, and it was among the first handful of sets that inspired my entire YouTube channel. Now here we are in the year 2018 with a brand new updated version of Anakin's Jedi Starfighter, and the center for this one is 75214. The recommended ages are 7 through 12 and an SPS count of 247, while the price point has remained the same 10 years later at $19.99. And out of all the new sets that are coming out for the August 1st release of this year, this is pretty much the only one that I truly and genuinely could not wait for, because Snoke's Throne Room is just an overpriced, cheap little build with a couple Praetorian guards that I just could not stomach spending $70 on. And I mean, the new X-Wing looks cool, but the rest I just don't really care about. This, however, meant a lot to me, and I absolutely had to pick this up, and this set did not disappoint. I will get into all the reasons just as to why this is so amazing and so nostalgic, so here we go. So I figure I can cover both of these minifigures in the same segment. As you can see, our brand new Anakin Skywalker is really unique for a couple reasons, namely, of course, the lack of the animated style eyes, which is great, and that was a change implemented for the debut of the Star Wars Rebels sets in 2014. So that animated style that we saw on the minifigures throughout all of the Clone Wars sets is pretty much completely gone, and of course will not be present in future Clone Wars sets next year either. The new Anakin hairpiece is still here a full decade later, which is definitely really awesome, and it still works. And then, of course, we do have the headset printed onto the Anakin head, which is fine. I mean, it's just that they didn't actually wear the headsets when they were in their Starfighters in the series. That was mostly in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, and so that's why it's kind of disappointing that it also makes its way onto the alternative aggressive facial expression, because I do kind of wish that at least one of these face prints would not have had the headset, but it's really not that big of a deal. I think I have one of the Attack of the Clones 2013 Anakin heads lying around somewhere. But what's really awesome as well is, of course, this is our first live-action interpretation of Anakin's outfit as it appeared in the Clone Wars movie all the way up until I think it was Season 3, Episode 10, Heroes on Both Sides, and that was unnecessary information, but that is how long this outfit lasted. And then you can see the leg printing as well is also really great, extending onto the belt and down past the knees. And then on the back, you can see that we do have the chest plate continuing, down onto his back, and then the belt is just a really, great but simple design. And then the standard lightsaber, nothing new there, obviously. R2-D2, nothing new here either, which is totally fine. I do kind of wish that they would change the light beneath his center eye to be more of a red. The really light pink doesn't do it for me. It just kind of feels devoid of color. Anyway, then you can see the back of R2-D2, really nothing going on there, like I mentioned. But yeah, it's just so awesome to have this updated Anakin along with R2-D2, of course, with his new updated appearance, because obviously a lot has changed since 2008. Okay, so here we go with the remastered version of the Jedi Starfighter that Anakin used throughout at least the first year and a half or so of the Clone Wars. And you can see that LEGO has done a lot in streamlining the design, all these years later, but also there's a lot that is, very similar. I mean, it just in general, it's structured and built in a very similar way. The wings aren't attached the same way. There are differences, but ultimately, if you compare the two Starfighters, obviously there are, there is a wide variety of differences, but I mean, in terms of just the whole thing, if you're just looking at it structurally, I mean, it's mostly kept its general shape, even though I think LEGO, I would say this one might be a little bit longer. But anyway, you can see that this entire set is pretty much covered in stickers. Like on the exterior, you can see that we do have this 2x4 yellow tile with a sticker here, this angled piece here with another sticker on the center there, along with some stickers on the back wing flap here, and that's on both sides here, and then inverse over here. And then also we do have these Republic symbols with the additional yellow markings, right beneath them, and that goes for both slopes, again, just inverted for both sides. And then we do also have the Republic symbol. This time it is a sticker. I think the original it was actually printed, but then I think the only actual printed piece for detail in here is the actual control panel, which is pretty simple, just some simple targeting and just a pretty standard screen in there. But you can see we actually do have a 2x2 available space with studs, and it's not a tile, so Anakin's not wobbling around in there once you do seat him inside. And then the new circular cockpit closes over him just like so. The original cockpit was much more angular, but obviously we have this one now, and I think it obviously works much better. In the center there, you can see we do have a 2x2 circular tile with a stud in the center, specifically for R2-D2, and of course he lines up perfectly with it, just turning his head a little bit to his right so that it looks a little bit more natural when he's looking ahead. And then you can see on the top here, we do also have a couple of stud shooters. When originally with the first Clone Wars Anakin's Jedi Starfighter, it was just like a couple of axle pieces. They couldn't actually do anything, and then there were flick fire missiles on the bottom. So we've definitely come a long way in terms of playability features over the last decade. But if you don't know how stud shooters work, you push down on the gray lever and then they fire, and they are super effective. And I mean, I have flashbacks to the flick fire missiles, you know, thinking about the original version of this set, but I'm so glad that they're long gone. And then you can see on the bottom we do have a simple landing gear hinge. I mean, this is pretty much the same as it always was. There isn't much of a difference here, but it does serve the same purpose. And then on the bottom you can see we do have the engines as well, which look great with their trans green 2x2 discs on the back. But other than that, that is pretty much already it for Anakin's Jedi Starfighter. Oh, and there's also a hinge underneath for Anakin's lightsaber. That's pretty awesome. I mean, it is a very simple and straightforward set, just like it always was all those years ago, and LEGO has done a great job in updating the design and really making it so much more modern, so that they could, you know, obviously offer it to us now in the year 2018. And now, of course, this has actually retained its price from 2008, and it is $19.99. So absolutely pick this set up. It is definitely worth it. And I think on that note, though, we're going to take a look at the box and the instruction manual and wrap up this video. The box, of course, still using the Last Jedi theme, does have a really cool graphic on the front, along with Anakin sporting the actual size reference on the top. And then on the back, it looks like we have Anakin landing in what, I mean, I can only assume is a Separatist hangar, and then the features that this set does include that I already showed you throughout the video. So, yeah, man. I don't know why I did that. Okay, so the instruction manual is an instruction manual. You can see that we've got, I think, 77 total pages for the build, and then a ton of advertisements in this one, so bear with me, but they are actually pretty cool. If I can just get the damn instruction manual open, you can see we have an entire advertisement for every single summer set that's being released on August 1st, and like I mentioned, I just don't care about any of them, really. And then you can see over to the right here, we have some fantastic renders, though, of all the minifigures from these new sets, and then we go ahead and keep going. We do have another advertisement for a couple of those same sets, but exclusively the solo Star Wars story sets, which is kind of weird because there's actually like 3 solo sets and there's only 2 on this advertisement. So I guess these are the 2 that LEGO really want you to buy. And then we do also have Kylo Ren advertising lego.com/life, and yeah, that's it though. But this has been pretty awesome, man, because I mean, it's so cool to think that kids are going to have their chance to pick up a new version of the same set that inspired my entire YouTube channel. And I mean, even if it doesn't inspire them, like it did me, considering how long the Clone Wars has been off the air, it's still been really cool, man. And yeah, so let's go ahead and finish up this review.
All right, Rex. It's so important that you brought us all the way back here.
Hello, Master. It's been a while.
Oh my god! Alright guys, and there you go. That is it for my review on what is basically the 10th anniversary edition of Anakin's Jedi Starfighter from Star Wars The Clone Wars. And again, you should absolutely consider picking this one up. It is a fantastic set. And so on that note though, I'm going to be heading out to Brick Fair, Virginia this Tuesday. So my next video or 2 are going to be pre-recorded, but I definitely look forward to those. This is very likely going to be my only summer 2018 LEGO Star Wars review. I don't really plan on reviewing the rest of the sets like I mentioned at the start of the video. The new X-Wing looks cool. I don't really care about the rest. And so I'm really glad I did get the chance to review this one though, because like I mentioned at the start and probably throughout this review, this set meant a lot to me. And yeah, and then once I get back from Brick Fair, I'm going to be getting started on Venom, and it should be pretty great. You can keep up with all the progress over on my Patreon first, or over on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, where I'll be posting previews after that, before of course leading into the actual showcase here on YouTube. And so that is it, guys. 10 years later, I just never could have imagined what this set and a handful of others, like I mentioned at the start, would have done for little Ross, because oh my god. But anyway, that is it, guys. Thank you for sticking around, and I'll catch you next time. All right.